Patriots, like we mentioned before, they play the Dallas Cowboys. This is a 7-point line. Cowboys are a 7-point underdog. And PFF simulations predicts that the Pats win 71% of the time. But this is the highest ranked offense the Pats have faced. Dallas. Where do you think they rank in PFF?
They got to be at least top 5.
They're number 1. That kind of surprised me.
They've been prolific. Dak's been playing at a super high level.
Dak is balling, bro. I made the case for him being an MVP candidate.
He should be.
Right?
Other than what we got, Wilson, Lamar, and Watson. I think Watson, Prescott are those two guys you could kind of flip here. I think Wilson, Lamar, top 2 though.
Yeah, I think they've separated themselves from the field. But, like Jared Goff last year was a top 5 MVP candidate.
Yeah,
I
those
know
were days.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think about the cliff he's fallen off of. But Dak has graded better than Brady so far this year, 85.2 to 82.9 per PFF. I have a big question for you, and I want you guys listening to chime in as well because, I'm a degenerate, and I love playing daily fantasy. We know about the Patriot way. Do you think they throw Gilmore on Gallup and double cover Amari? Do you think that could be enough to slow down Zeke too? Because we know about them taking away your best offensive weapon. Who do you think New England treats as the best offensive weapon there?
Yeah, because Gallup's such a threat, so I think why not put Gilmore on him? Because you saw Gallup, but especially against Detroit, he had a monster game. He's so I knew he was good coming out of college, but some people are saying he's a receiver 1. He should have been drafted a lot higher. But man, he's such a vertical threat. Like some of the contested catches he was making against Detroit was incredible. So yeah, I can see Belichick doing that. I think he has faith in the secondary where we could double Cooper. The thing is, they move Cooper around a lot. Like they'll put Cooper in the slot, so that's something they're gonna have to gauge. And if Ronald Cobb's not play a lot better too. Dallas says they went from having the worst receiver corps to now one of the best ones in the league in 1 year. Like, remember last year how bad they were before Cooper got there?
Yeah, they had no speed.
They it was Allen Hurns, Cole Beasley, Gallup was still kind of learning the playbook, and maybe Terrence Williams was still there. Remember him?
Oh, yeah, Terrence Williams. He had that wild catch against the Seahawks that one time, that toe tap on 3rd and 28.
But I know you're a big fan because he forgot to get out of bounds against the Giants.
Oh, man, that was such a good time, But, staying with this game here, a lot of the Patriot wide receivers are questionable, but I kind of think that's just
Well, Sanu's out for a few weeks, I saw.
Yeah, with the ankle injury. Dorsett, concussion, game time decision, probably out. New England, man, they, like you said, they don't really have anyone that scares you offensively. Like Edelman is Edelman, and we know about that, and I got to give that guy credit because I think he's a sensational wide receiver. I think he's the most underrated wide receiver of our generation.
Underrated.
Yeah, because I think he'll never be when you make a top 10 wide receiver list, all the years you've been watching football, Edelman is never in that.
Because he shouldn't be.
He shouldn't be. But
I don't think he's even top 20.
But is there anyone you would pick over him in a big game?
Yeah, there's a lot of great receivers out there.
No. I feel passionate about this one. In a big game, there's not a wide receiver I would pick over Edelman. And I know it's the system and it's the quarterback. I get that. But, that guy,
he makes big plays. You can't deny his resume against the Falcons. But there's way more receivers out there that just bring more as, on the outside. And because I don't want to call Edelman a glorified slot receiver. He's definitely more than that. But there's just so many big-time receivers out there. And I just thought the whole Hall of Fame discussion last year was ridiculous. Like, people saying he should be in the Hall of Fame. Absolutely not.
I was one of those guys.
Okay, don't agree with that at all. To me, he's like a better version of Jarvis Landry. That's why I describe him as. When it comes to slot receivers, the guys that came into the league as slot receivers, it's okay, yeah, they do their thing, don't get me wrong, but I can't put you in the top 10. I'm not putting you over a guy like Mike Evans or someone like AJ Green. I put those guys in the big spot. You can see what they do. They're just with terrible franchises.
That's a very fair point.
Yeah.
The situation that he's been dealt is obviously the best one in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And,
he delivers. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to deny him. It's just
because I also think that Julian Edelman not playing in that Eagles game hurt the Patriots in that game. He didn't have his comfort zone. Look, Brady threw for 500 yards.
Yeah.
So how much more could he have done? I get that, but I think Edelman is sensational, and the reason why I even bring him up is he was limited this week in practice, but I think it's also wasn't Brady on the injury report for 200 straight weeks. And it was just like that's what New England kind of does.
I'm still wondering what happened with Josh Gordon there. I think they just had some sort of falling out because I think they really could have used Josh Gordon.
Oh yeah, they definitely could have. And you saw that Brady trusted him right away. They were giving him big spots, sort of like what Russell Wilson did in the Seahawks that Monday night game. He converted 2 third and like 8s, 39s.
Yeah, and it was only 2 catches, but he still delivered.
Yeah,
and now he's gonna know more of the playbook. So
right. I think with this game, the one thing I'm looking for is I really want to know. New England tells you what they think of you, as far as like an offensive weapon. So if they don't stack the box, kind of feel like they don't respect Zeke. I think Zeke is having an awful year.
He doesn't break many tackles anymore. He doesn't make people whiff. He doesn't. When he gets the ball, you see first contact, he goes down.
Zeke is showing all the signs of I just got paid and I don't give a fuck anymore. From his like wild ass hairdo to he does look a little heavier than usual.
I think that's always been knocking him though. That was like last year, I remember.
Right. Yeah. But like he doesn't seem to have that burst.
He's not as elusive. I will say that. Like he doesn't break as many tackles. Like you saw the touchdown against Detroit, Tony Pollard. He broke like 3 tackles. I was like, man, I don't think Zeke could do that.
Yeah, Zeke is just like the Cowboy fans have a wild, irrational love, I think, for him. I think that offensive line is so good, and now that offense is so good that, yeah, if I was Dallas, I would be like, all right, bro, like I'm not paying you. I'd much rather pay Dak because I'm always biased towards the quarterback anyway. And
Cooper.
I think running backs are replaceable, and I think I would have been like, all right, bro, hold out, and I'm gonna roll with Tony Pollard.
This is gonna be a game where people like. Because I think there's only 2 4 o'clock games. The other one's like Tennessee, Jacksonville. So if you're not a fan of that team or you're not covering them, you're not watching. NFL, whenever Dallas has that big 4 o'clock match we saw against Green Bay earlier this year, they just sub the schedule. Okay, everyone's gonna watch this. So I think if you see Zeke at like 13 carries for 43 yards, you're just gonna see all these people. Yeah, this is what you get for paying a running back. And then Cooper has maybe like 7 catches for 100 yards. Who knows? Because I think Cooper is going to get his catches. He's just someone I think at this point you can't really limit. Like he's someone that's going to get his production regardless, unless Gallup has a monster game and Cobb goes off. Like I know he had kind of a down game against Detroit, but I think it's just more because of Gallup and Cobb having monster games and just Dak spreading the ball around. I think in this type of matchup, they're not going to have many opportunities. They're going to need someone like Cooper to create separation and make some individual plays of his own.
Damn, so Cooper is matchup proof, you think?
At this point, it's just the way he runs routes, like I think he's incredible, man. Like I would put him in the top 5. I really would. Especially when they put him in a slot. He is so damn good in the slot. He's kind of like Michael Thomas. Him and Michael Thomas, like the best receivers, and Keenan Allen as well, where you see him a lot in the slot, and they just thrive off it.
Last thing on this game before we give a pick, I tweeted out and posted about this year so far, the 2 players that have proved me wrong have been Lamar Jackson and Dak Prescott. Does Dak Prescott make the cut for you as far as like if you were to do a top 5 list of players that have exceeded your expectations? Where was were you?
I've always liked Dak.
You've always liked Dak.
I've always been Dak. I think that what held him back was Scott Linehan. I think Scott Linehan was a terrible offense coordinator.
I'd agree with you on that. Yeah, but I didn't see this coming. Like he's on pace for 5,000 yards, and that's an exclusive club.
They really bolstered their offense. I think Cobb's been a solid sign. I know people thought he was a little bit on the decline, but I think Cobb in this offense where they're using him better, like they're not as reliant on him, I think helps. And the offensive line's finally healthy. People forget last year Frederick was out for a year, and then 2017 Tyron Smith was out those games. So I think him having a stabilized offensive line certainly helps. He's always had the ability, Dak. I don't think he's always had enough resources around him, and obviously playing with Jason Garrett doesn't help. So.
The clapper.
Yeah. By the way, if we did a prediction earlier, we could just said Bill Belichick, Jason Garrett. That's it. Like that could have just been our preview. I think people would have been satisfied. But no, this is a really compelling matchup. And I think Dallas has a lot of talent. It's hard to look past. You have Bill Belichick on one side, and then you have Jason Garrett on the other. It's hard to look past that. As bad as New England offense looks right now.
Yo, I feel like if you were to take the top 20 players in this game and just rank them, I feel like it would be 14-6 in favor of Dallas.
Definitely be up there because, okay, we got who? We got Gilmore, put Brady there. Put Edelman out there, and who else is there?
Right?
McCourty. I got to give that. I
McCourty.
don't know, maybe both, not, but just Devin. Jimmy Collins having a really good year, but I don't know if I could put him up there. Even that Patriots offensive line's not even, like, they don't have big names there. Like, I think Shaq Mason's really good. But you're right. Dallas they have a lot of star power.
Look, there's 3 offensive linemen on Dallas. For as much as I knock Zeke, Zeke is one of the best players in this game. And then like
Lawrence,
Van
Der Esch.
Shit, Quinn is getting a sack every week,
Dude.
That guy,
Michael Bennett's by the way, Michael Bennett revenge game, a very weird revenge game, but it's a revenge game.
Yeah, but Robert Quinn, man, a guy who went to Miami and like kind of disappeared, fell off the radar, and like still had something left in him. So I think this game goes one of two ways. I think it's a close game, and Jason Garrett does something dumb where it's like maybe a time management issue, and it's like
he gives Zeke the ball 3 times.
Yeah, and it's like one of those things where it's like ultimately Belichick got him at the end, or I think New England blows them out, and it's a Packers Cowboys kind of game where like New England goes up like 28-3, and then sorry, I know that's
jeez,
I didn't do that on purpose, bro. I'm sorry.
No, I forgot, but that's probably the only game this year Dak struggled in Green Bay. Actually, I didn't think he played that well against the Giants, the Monday night game, but he obviously got done at the end. But that Green Bay game was the one noticeable game where he could have thrown like 4 picks, and this is a really good litmus test for him because this is the best defense he's played against, and there could be moments where because Patriots defense, they've made a lot of quarterbacks look bad. Obviously, the competition hasn't been great, but they made Wentz look bad, so it wouldn't surprise me if Prescott threw a couple of picks. But it is hard to go against New England just given the coaching discrepancy. That I look at that, and then that secondary. I think that secondary is one of the few secondaries that can hold up against Dallas.